Okay, so I'm going to attempt to make this look more like this. I don't know if you can see that very well. See how the coloring of the stone is? Yeah, that's what I'm going to try to do. First, I got just a concrete color. And I'm going to paint the whole thing in the concrete color first. And then I'm going to start working in other colors to bring those highlights out. So let's get started. Yeah. Hopefully I don't get too much on here and glob it up. That's the last thing I want. So make sure you spread this out really well. All right, and I've got other paintbrushes with me that'll help me get some of this out to where it doesn't glob up everything and make it look horrible. But for the moment, do your best to get these globs out. There we go. Starting to get there. Just work it in. Do your best. But that's my attempt. Or at least that's what I'm attempting. Yeah, I'm even painting those. Make sure we get all those out. Gotta pay attention to your corners, because your corners are very important. Without those, your model loses a lot of its character, and you don't want to lose the details in your model. So I'm just going to keep on painting this. Some there, and I'll just start spreading it out. I'm not going to worry too much about getting the windows or the window frames, because I'm just going to redo those anyways. I'm going to rust them out and make them look a little more realistic, or at least closer to what my prototype is. See how my windows are extremely rusty, which is really cool. I don't know about the broken glass, but we'll see what we can do about that. Let's get back to this before I let it dry up too much, because then it'll just glob up. And I'm not really that terribly worried about getting every square inch, because I'm going to be putting multiple layers of paint on here. But I do want to make sure I keep my corners nice and clean. And if you get a hair or something like that in there, try to brush that out, or at least get it out, because you don't want that in there. That'll show up. I'm not the best model builder, but you know, it is. Come on, get out of there. Gotta get those corners. Yeah, there we go. A reasonable concrete color. I'm going to be adding blacks and whites to it, and then I'll probably go over it some more with this color just to blend it all in. I'm going to work this little segment first. Yeah, I think we're getting there. And I got to get some of that, some of those globs out of those corners. I do not want those in my corners. Just totally destroy the model. I'll work it out. I'm not a painter, but I've talked to a lot of painters, and they always say, paint away from the corners, paint away from the corners, right? That way, there we go. That way you don't, get globs of it in the corners. You don't get runs and things like that, and it doesn't collect up. And I don't want it to collect up in any corner whatsoever. So I might just actually hit this again with a I don't know what kind of brush. I just kind of disassembled a brush, and more like a, I don't know what kind of brushes these are. You know, it's those kind of brushes. I don't know what they're called, but that's okay. So I'm just going to get into my corners, see if maybe this helps a little bit. I'm going to be using this later to mix in different colors and get them in there. Should have left the backer on this thing. Would have made it a little bit stiffer. But yeah, get all those globs out of those corners. I don't want those in there. The sharper the corner, the more realistic it'll look when all is said and done. Yeah, right there. Right there's a little bit. And then I got a hair right there. I'm going to try to get that out with something. Maybe. I don't even know if that's a hair. Yeah, it is. Well, close enough. All right. So there's other colors I'm going to be using. I'm going to be using some, just some brown. It is just some paint I got laying around. And some black. You can use whatever brand. There's a lot of different brands out there. Even some white. Actually, I'm going to start with the white first. So on a little bit of a mixing palette, I am going to, a little mixing palette. Anything will work as a mixing palette. There we go, get some of that white out. While I'm at it, might as well get some of my other colors ready. Let's see, I need some brown, a little bit of black, not a lot of black. Black goes really far, so you don't need a lot. Yeah. Technically, I need some more of the concrete color, but I'm not going to worry about that yet. So on the white, I'm going to take a little bit of that brown, and I'm just going to mix it in with the white. And the white, I'm not going to use a lot of it either, because I really am just using it as a highlight on some of this. And don't forget, just dab it in so it blends in, doesn't look so blotchy. All right, there we go. Now it's starting to blend in. Because there's going to be highlights in here that you know, you'll be able to see, but hopefully it won't just stand out as like a white blob. Yeah, just highlights. And these little areas like this and like this, well, like this and like that, and even this area, what I'll end up doing is I will start adding like a rust color to it, and then inside the windows themselves I'll make a rust color to it, and so on and so on. Let's get some here, and let's put some over here. All right, let's put that in a little bit. There we go. This paint will build up kind of quick on you if you're not careful. Yeah, no, a little door down there. Let's get some white up here. All right. So the picture that I'm using, I'm actually using as part of my backdrop, and the way it runs on my railroad is that I need it to, yeah, I think that'll work. Maybe a little extra right here. There we go. I need it to, I'm just going to get some brown. It doesn't matter if I got it on this or not. Never matters. Well, it's a tan, not really a brown. Let's see how that looks. We're just going to add it in other areas. Actually, I want a little more brown. Dab it off a little bit. I'm going to pay a little closer attention to areas like that where it's got some highlighted features. Yeah, don't like that, but that's okay. because then I can come back in and I can blot that out. Actually, I'll blot that out a little bit more with the concrete color. That's all I'm doing. It's just adding different colors. And I keep adding until I'm satisfied. Should have left the roof on this thing. Would have made it a lot easier to paint this area. Because that is starting to look a lot better, I think. Starting to. I don't know. Let's see how it looks on. Oh, that's looking great. I like that. I like it when a plan comes together. Let's mute out that white a little bit there. Look at that, I even left a little gray. It doesn't matter. None of that matters. So let's get our black. Our black, absolutely just a dot in there is all I'm looking for. Then I'm gonna mix it in with the browns. Oh, way too much black, right? To make just a darker kind of color, right? And then I'm gonna add that in the places. Oh, I don't like that too much. A little more black. Let's see. And I'm trying to hit my raised areas more so than anywhere else. Black going. There we go. More like just like an ugly gray. I guess would be a better way of describing that. And I'm not hitting that in a lot of places. I'm just giving it just some high. Oops, whoa. I don't like that. We'll blend that back out. Or maybe we'll leave it. I'm not really sure. We'll see how it looks when all's said and done. So then, I'll blend that in a second. Need to get my other hand in there so I'm not, just to get that to blend in a little bit. This is a little whiter there. I want that to be a little darker. I don't like that gray. See that tan, not gray, but that tan kind of got a little squirrely on me. But that's okay. All right. Let's put some more over here. I don't have as, come back here. Let's get more brown and the black down at the bottom. Because, most of your stuff is going to start settling down towards the bottom. Sorry about the bump on the camera. Let's blend that in a little bit. There we go. Blend that a little bit. Blend that just a wee bit more. Right. I've got this whole entire building to go. Yay. So, let's see. Oh, too much white right there, but that's okay. I can pull that out a little bit and add some brown to it. Let's see how that's starting to look. Oh, that's looking great. I'm loving it. Yeah. So this is how I'm weathering up this building. And I think that's looking pretty darn snazzy. Where's my, let's see, how close are we? Oh, look at that. I think that's looking pretty darn close. Yep. And then I'm gonna have to get in there and start doing the details on the windows and like areas like this and this and that and this area here and that area. I'm gonna have to start weathering those up and putting some rust on it. And then once I get the rust color going, then I'll hit inside the windows as well. And once all that's done, I'll start putting the window material in there, the clear plastic. And then I'll start blotting out different areas and make it look a little more realistic. I don't know if you ever notice it. A lot of factories, they have these windows that are just blotted out. I mean, they're either painted over or they're just super dirty. I'm not really sure. But I do like the color of the framework in there, and I'm going to try to represent that here in a second. So, Okay, I got my Model Masters. This is a rust color. I couldn't tell you exactly. I don't even think they make this anymore, but I found it and I was like, oh, cool. So I'm going to use it. But this is what I'm going to use. See the nice brownish color to it. And then after I'm done using this, what I'll do is I will use weathering chalks and things like that to bring out the weathered look to it, or rusty look to it. So yeah, so I'm gonna paint all of these little extra details, right? That's looking pretty smashing. Yeah, I got a little extra. Oh, no. That's all right. I don't care. Let that be there. It's just part of the rust. And my windows, those are going to be tricky. These are small details. But yeah, look at that coming out. That's looking great. Don't use a lot of paint on your brush when doing this, because again, then you'll have to work all that out, and you don't want to have to do all that. So a little bit goes a long way, especially on windows. There's only a little bit of material here. Oh yeah, look at that. Will you just look at that? Yeah, excuse the background noise. I'm gonna paint all these details, all these windows, and yeah, make it look pretty darn nice. So the point behind painting this is that I'm wanting to use part of that photo that I have and use it as part of the backdrop to this building, so that when you look at it, it just kind of goes on into the background and you know, disappears somewhere, you know, and gives you that illusion of depth. And that's kind of what I'm going after, is the illusion of depth on this. Should have let some of that dry first, but that's all right. I think it'll work in the long run. It'll just give it a highlight. Yeah. Yeah, let's see how that's looking. It's starting to come together. I like it. I do. So I'm just gonna keep on painting all this. Whoa, a little too much there. See what I mean by you don't need a lot of paint on that, because it'll just go a lot further than you anticipate, and then you get these buildups on here, little blobs of paint. I don't want that. So I'm gonna finish this last window, and then I'm gonna go ahead and move on to the others, but I'm gonna stop here. And yeah, oh, we got some windows, you can't see those. Okay, yeah, so I'm gonna keep on moving. I mean, on to other windows. I'm gonna finish up all these. There's things that are missing. So like my box gutter is missing at the moment, and I have one that's supposed to go here. It's fallen off, but that's okay. I'll get a new one put back on it. I don't like that area too much, right? So what I'm gonna do, I'm gonna take a little bit of I know I said I was gonna end that. I'm gonna take a little bit of my concrete color, and I'm gonna tone that down just a wee bit, right? Just because I didn't like it. And yeah, come on, there we go. How's that? A little bit less right there. And right about here. Yeah, leave it. I think it's looking pretty smashing. Still, it's a little dark for my taste right there. So let's get a little more, it's being stubborn. doesn't want to cover. That's the bad thing about black. Let's see. Oh yeah, definitely. Plus, once the gutter goes off over the top of that, I'm gonna have to weather it with some brown and whatnot, and get it to look like it's rusting behind it as well, because it's gonna just come right down the building. So I'm gonna finish these up and I'll be back.